What if I told you that 88% of millionaires do one thing every single day that takes less than 30 minutes, and 98% of broke people refuse to do it? This isn't about working harder. It's not about earning more money. It's not about finding some secret investment or getting lucky on crypto. It's about 5 tiny habits that, according to a 5-year study of 233 wealthy individuals, separate people who build millions from people who struggled their entire lives. And the crazy part? You can start all 5 of them today, for free. But before I show you those habits, I need to destroy a lie that's probably living in your head right now. The lie is this: if I just earned more money, I'd be rich. It sounds logical, it feels true, but it's not. And I can prove it. Ramsey Solutions conducted the largest study of millionaires ever done. Over 10,000 participants. And what they found shocked everyone. Only 31% of those millionaires averaged $100,000 a year over their careers. 1/3 never made 6 figures in any single year of their working life. Meanwhile, we all know people earning $200,000, $300,000 who live paycheck to paycheck. Nicer car, bigger house, fancier vacations, same financial stress. So if income isn't the answer, what is? Here's what hit me even harder. 79% of those millionaires didn't receive any inheritance. None. And 8 out of 10 came from middle class or lower income families. They weren't born into money. They didn't get lucky. They didn't have connections or trust funds or rich uncles. They built it from scratch through habits. Tom Corley, a certified financial planner, spent 5 years studying the daily routines of 233 wealthy people and 128 people living in poverty. And what he discovered was kind of unsettling. He found over 200 daily activities that separated the rich from the poor. Not investment strategies, not business plans. Daily habits, small, seemingly insignificant things that wealthy people do every single day that poor people simply don't. And this connects to something Darren Hardy calls the compound effect. A penny doubled every day becomes over $10 million in just 31 days. Sounds impossible, but the math checks out. Your habits work the same way. Tiny actions repeated daily compound into extraordinary results over time. The problem is that most people want instant results. So they quit before the compounding kicks in. They give up at day 15 when the penny is still only worth $163. Today I'm giving you the 5 most powerful habits from this research. And I'm going to be specific, not vague motivation. Specific actions you can implement starting tonight. My name is Tomas, and I study the psychology and habits behind wealth building. If this helps you, subscribe and hit the like button. But honestly, just stay until the end, because the system I put together in the last section might be the most valuable thing you watch this year. First habit, and this is the one with the most dramatic gap between rich and poor. Reading. 30 minutes a day. That's it. In Corley's study, 88% of wealthy respondents said they read at least 30 minutes every single day. Among those living in poverty, 2%. Let that gap sink in for a second. 88 versus 2. This isn't a slight difference. This is a canyon. And it shows up in every single study on wealth building. But here's what matters even more than the fact that they read. It's what they read. About 85% read 2 or more educational, self-improvement, or career-related books per month. They're not reading romance novels before bed. They're not scrolling through fiction for entertainment. They're deliberately feeding their brains with knowledge that makes them better at earning, managing, and growing money. And here's what they're not doing. 77% of poor individuals in the same study watched more than 1 hour of television every single day. Think about that trade-off. One group spends their evening hours absorbing knowledge. The other group spends theirs absorbing entertainment. Over a week, that's maybe 3.5 hours of reading versus 7 hours of TV. Seems small. But over a year? Over a decade? Over a career? The knowledge gap becomes insurmountable. The person who reads makes better decisions. Better decisions lead to better outcomes. Better outcomes compound into wealth. It's a chain reaction that starts with 30 minutes and a book. Warren Buffett calls this the compound interest of knowledge. He tells people to read 500 pages a day, which is insane for most of us. But the principle is right. Knowledge accumulates like money in a high-yield account. Every book you read gives you a slightly better lens through which to see the world. And those slightly better lenses add up to dramatically better decisions over time. Here's how to start. You don't need 500 pages, you need 10 pages a day. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes depending on the book. That's 3,650 pages a year, roughly 15 books. In 5 years, you'll have read 75 books more than the average person. 75 books worth of knowledge, ideas, strategies, and perspectives that the people around you simply don't have. Replace 30 minutes of scrolling with a book or audiobook. Listen during your commute, that's free time you're already spending. Doing nothing productive. Read before bed instead of looking at your phone. Start with something like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Atomic Habits, or The Psychology of Money. Something practical that you can apply immediately. The habit isn't sexy, it's not exciting. Nobody's going to congratulate you for reading 10 pages before bed. But compounded over years, it's one of the most powerful wealth building tools that exists, and it costs almost nothing. Second habit, and this one might get some pushback. Wake up earlier, not a little earlier. Significantly earlier. Corley's 5-year study found that nearly 50% of self-made millionaires woke up at least 3 hours before their workday started. Not 30 minutes, 3 hours. And 88% of the wealthy in his study were up with the sun, moving, acting with purpose. Among the poor, just 2% did the same. Now, before you click away thinking, I'm not a morning person, hear me out. Because this isn't about being a morning person. It's about owning your time. Think about your typical day. You wake up, rush to get ready, commute, work for 8 or 9 hours, come home exhausted, eat dinner, collapse on the couch, scroll your phone, go to bed. Where in that schedule is there any time for you? For reading, for thinking, for planning, for exercising, for working on something that actually moves your life forward. The morning is the only time that truly belongs to you. Before the emails start, before the calls come in, before your boss needs something, before the kids wake up, before the world starts demanding pieces of you, those early morning hours are yours. And what you do with them determines the trajectory of your life. There's science behind this too. Your willpower is at its peak in the morning. Your brain is fresh, rested, and capable of its best thinking. Distractions are at zero. It's the highest quality time you'll have all day. And most people sleep through it. Here's what millionaires do with those hours. They read, they exercise, they plan their day, they work on their goals. Their mornings aren't wasted. Their mornings are their weapon. While everyone else is hitting snooze for the third time, these people have already invested in themselves. Richard Branson wakes up at 5 a.m. every day and credits his morning routine for giving him 4 extra hours of productivity. 4 hours every single day. That's over 1,400 extra productive hours per year. What could you build with 1,400 extra hours? Now, here's how to actually do this without hating your life. Don't set your alarm for 4 a.m. tomorrow. That's how habits die. Instead, set it 15 minutes earlier this week. Just 15 minutes. Next week, another 15. The week after, another 15. Within a month, you've gained a full extra hour, and your body barely noticed the shift. Use that hour for the other habits in this video. Reading, exercise, goal review. Stack them into your morning, and suddenly you've invested in yourself before most people have opened their eyes. The key is consistency. Same time every day, even weekends. Your body clock adjusts, and those hours? They compound into thousands over a lifetime. Thousands of hours that separate people who build wealth from people who wonder why they never get ahead. Third habit, and this is where the money part gets real. Automate your savings, pay yourself first, every single time. Here's what most people do with their paycheck. It comes in. They pay rent, utilities, car payment, groceries. Then maybe some eating out, some shopping, some subscriptions they forgot they had. And at the end of the month, they look at what's left and think, okay, I'll save that. You know what's left? Nothing. Every single time. And it's not because you're bad with money. It's because your brain is wired to spend what's available. Research shows that more than 60% of Americans can't even maintain a basic budget. Not because they're irresponsible, because willpower fails when money is sitting in your checking account, whispering, spend me. Now here's what blew my mind about Corley's research. Every single participant in his millionaire study, 100%, saved at least 10% of their net income every year, and 95% saved 20% or more. But here's the part that changes everything. They did this before they were rich, not after. Before, when money was tight, when it wasn't easy, when they had every reason not to. They paid themselves first anyway. The concept is called reverse budgeting. Instead of building a budget around your expenses and saving what's left, you build it around your savings goal and spend what's left. You flip the entire equation. You become your first bill, not your landlord, not your credit card company, not Amazon, you. And the key that makes this actually work is automation. You don't rely on remembering. You don't rely on discipline. You set up an automatic transfer that moves money to savings on payday before you see it, before you touch it, before your brain has a chance to negotiate. Research from BECU found that people who automate their savings increase their goal achievement by 1.5 to 3.5 times compared to people who transfer manually, not because they earn more, not because they try harder, simply because the decision was removed from their daily lives. The money disappeared before they could spend it. Here's how millionaires actually do it. They set up direct deposits from their paychecks into separate savings and investment accounts. Money goes straight to retirement plans, IRAs, investment accounts. It never touches their checking account. It never tempts them. It's gone before they wake up on payday. Here's your setup. Open a separate savings account at a different bank. Not the same bank where your checking account is. Different bank, different app, different login. Make it inconvenient to access. Out of sight, out of mind. Set up automatic transfer for the day after payday. Start with 10% of your income. If that feels impossible, start with 5%. If 5% feels impossible, start with whatever you can. But start. Then increase by 1% every 3 months. You won't feel the difference quarter to quarter. But in a year, you've gone from 5% to 9%. In 2 years, you're at 13%. Your lifestyle barely changed, but your savings changed dramatically. The math on this is beautiful. At $300 a month, you hit $10,000 in about 2 years and 9 months. At $500 a month, you're there in 20 months. At $833 a month, exactly 1 year. The amount matters less than the consistency. And consistency is what automation gives you for free. Fourth habit, and I know what you're thinking. What does exercise have to do with getting rich? Everything, more than you'd expect. Corley found that 76% of self-made millionaires exercise aerobically for 30 minutes or more, at least 4 days a week. Running, cycling, walking, swimming. And 93% of them sleep at least 7 hours a night. These aren't fitness influencers. These are accountants, business owners, engineers, salespeople. Regular people who made a deliberate choice to take care of their bodies. Now look at the other side. 97% of poor individuals in the same study consumed more than 300 calories of junk food daily. 97%. And the correlation between physical health and financial health isn't coincidence. It's cause and effect. And once you see the chain, you can't unsee it. Better health gives you more energy. More energy means better performance at work. Better performance means more opportunities, more promotions, more income. More energy also means you actually have something left in the tank at the end of the day to work on your goals, read your books, plan your future. Instead of collapsing on the couch because you're physically drained before dinner. And it goes further than that. Fewer sick days, lower medical bills, a longer career, more years to compound your wealth, more years to enjoy it. The financial return on a 30-minute walk is honestly incalculable when you zoom out over a lifetime. Richard Branson was asked in an interview what his #1 productivity hack was. His answer? Exercise. He said his morning workout gives him approximately 4 extra hours of productive work every single day. 4 hours. That's over 1,400 extra productive hours per year. Imagine what you could build, learn, create, or earn with 1,400 additional hours that your competitors don't have. That's the real return on exercise, not a six-pack, a six-figure advantage. And the science backs this up completely. Aerobic exercise doesn't just improve your heart and lungs. It develops new neurons in your brain. It enhances cognitive function, sharpens focus, improves memory, and boosts creative thinking. You literally think better after exercising. Your brain becomes a better tool for making money. That's not motivation talk, that's neuroscience. Here's how to start without overwhelm. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need 2 hours. You don't need to run a marathon. Start with 10 minutes of walking every morning. That's it. 10 minutes. Before you check your phone, before you open email, before you do anything else. Just walk. Next week, add 5 minutes. Week after, another 5. Within a month, you're at 30 minutes, and it feels normal. Do this 4 days a week minimum. Consistency beats intensity every time. A 30-minute walk costs you nothing and returns everything. Your body is your most important asset. If it breaks down, nothing else you build matters. Fifth habit. And this is the one that ties every other habit together. Without this one, the other four are just activities. With it, they become a system. Set goals and review them every single day. In Corley's Rich Habits study, 80% of self-made millionaires set specific long-term goals and focused on them daily. Not weekly, not when they felt like it, not on New Year's Eve. Daily. And 67% of them actually wrote those goals down. On paper, where they could see them, where they couldn't be ignored. But here's the stat that really stopped me. 86% of millionaires spend 15 to 30 minutes every single day just thinking. Not doing, not hustling, not answering emails. Thinking, strategizing, reflecting, reviewing where they are versus where they want to be, asking themselves what's working and what isn't, adjusting course. Most people never do this. Most people wake up, react to whatever the day throws at them, go to bed, and repeat. They're busy every single day, but they never stop to ask, am I even going in the right direction? They're running fast on a treadmill and wondering why they're not getting anywhere. Goals without daily review are just wishes. You write them down on January 1st, feel inspired for a week, and by February they're buried in a drawer you never open. But when you review your goals every morning, something different happens. They stay alive. They stay present. They guide your daily decisions in ways you don't even notice consciously. Should I buy this thing or save that money? Should I watch another episode or read for 30 minutes? Should I sleep in or get up and work on my future? When your goals are fresh in your mind, the answers become obvious. And there's a mindset piece here that matters. Corley found that 96% of millionaires maintain an optimistic perspective. They genuinely believe that anything is possible and actively seek solutions instead of dwelling on problems. And only 8% attributed their wealth to random luck. 8%. That means 92% credit their success to persistence, habits, and daily focus. They didn't get lucky. They showed up every day and did the work. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. And preparation is what happens every morning when you sit down with your goals. Here's your daily routine. Takes less than 15 minutes total. In the morning, review your 3 to 5 most important long-term goals. Read them out loud if you can. Then ask yourself one question for each. What one action can I take today toward this goal? Write that action down. It becomes your compass for the day. In the evening, spend 10 minutes reflecting. Did I move forward today? What worked? What didn't? What could I do better tomorrow? Keep a journal. It doesn't need to be fancy. A notebook, a notes app, whatever works. The act of writing creates commitment. It turns vague intentions into concrete plans. This habit is the glue. Reading gives you knowledge. Waking early gives you time. Automation gives you money. Exercise gives you energy, but goals give you direction. Without direction, all that knowledge, time, money, and energy just scatters. With direction, it compounds into something extraordinary.